So let's go. First off, Thurston, thank you so much for meeting us here in this, can we say, nice place? But it's, this is very typical of northern Portugal. I'm used to see you partake in many musical adventures all throughout your career, from the most concrete to the more abstract. What space does the Thurston Moore Group has in the middle of everything you're doing?
Well, it is kind of in the middle of all that. I mean, it's basically a group that is not trying to draw too much attention to itself because it's really based on our age. I'm 65 years old. Deb Googe is just in her early, turning 60. John Lydecker, who plays electronics with us, is well into his 50s. No, we're old people. And we look at it as we've already been through the wars together.
Yeah.
So with Sonic Youth and My Bloody Valentine all through the 80s and 90s, we had that. Yeah. We had those moments that were amazing. And so for us, just to actually be together and play together and create music together is like a real blessing. But I never really thought of it as something that had an end.
Yeah.
There's no parameters to it. To me, it was like you just do it until you decide not to or you die.
Yeah.
Either way, that's sort of the two decisions. But I just, when I moved to London 12 years ago, and I just knew that I would maybe put a group together at some point. But I was just playing music around with mostly free improvisers on the London scene, different experimental musicians. And I finally started playing with a guitar player named James Edwards, who's no longer with us. He unfortunately had a stroke last year. So now we have Alex Ward, who is a good mate of his and who's really recognized as this wonderful guitarist and clarinet player from the experimental music scene in England. And he's playing with us now. But it's still Deb and myself and a drummer named Jem Dalton, who's from London, who's fantastic, who Alex has always played with for quite some time. And this California boy named John Lydecker, a.k.a. Wobbly, who comes out of playing a lot with Matt Mose and people from the krautrock scene of the last 40 years. And so what we're doing is just like, for me, it's like what really is still doing like experimental sonic rock and roll music.
Yeah.
That kind of has its allegiance to like anything and everything, but also bringing in ideas that just really challenge any of the forms that are there.
And that's the only way of keeping up, right? You have to feel that you're always challenged by the music.
I suppose so. I mean, to me, it's more about wanting to.
Because you've done it all. That's why.
Yeah. I mean, I don't really feel like I need to challenge or I feel challenged. I feel like I know that the music, in some sense, is very challenging to like the casual listener. So even a situation like this at Sonic Blast, where a lot of the music is very metal, very punk, and what we're playing is not metal or punk, but we have sonic blasting music.
Yeah, you feel at home here.
It's its own thing. So I feel at home anywhere. It's really funny. It's like I could play at a folk fest or a metal fest or
that's the thing,
noise fest.
What you do, you can have a seated audience of very interested people, intellectual maybe, and you can be here at the Doom and Stoner Festival
exactly
and have a party at the same time.
Oh, exactly. Yeah. Because I'm a great lover of that music, and I always have been. I'm always, it's like Thelonious Monk was asked a question once by like a Time magazine journalist in the late 50s. Where he said, Thelonious, do you like country and western music? As if it was a joke, because he was a modernist jazz player. And he said, he's like, yes, I like all kinds of music. And it's just like, but he was serious. It's like, I don't care what you call it. I like all kinds of music. Like, it doesn't matter what it is. What I'm playing doesn't matter. It's just like, I just like to be engaged with the musical world. So breaking it down into factions, whatever, I don't think about it. It has to exist in its own place. And like I said before, it's not like we're trying to find a place to be accepted. Like, we're not looking for acceptance.
Yeah, of course. You're way past that.
And there's nothing wrong with that. I know when a band is in their first few years, that's what they need. They need it. And here comes a Sonic Youth T-shirt.
Yeah, see? You'll see a lot of those.
We're admiring your T-shirt. So that feels really good at this age in a way. I don't know how long I can do it. I mean, I'm not getting any younger. I really like composing and recording music.
Yeah.
Going out on the road these days, maybe it's a
tiring,
little much for me. I've done it for so long, and I know what the ins and outs of it are. Physically, I just feel like, maybe I'm just like
There's no glamour in
too
it left,
creaky.
right?
Yeah, and there's only very few bands from my age who I came up with who actually are able to sort of exist with a really catered place,
Yeah.
like the Chili Peppers or the Foo Fighters or whatever. I mean, these guys have like 4 or 5 buses, and they don't do anything except for walk on stage,
Yeah.
plug in, play, and which is wonderful, but that's few and far between. And most bands I know don't have that luxury, but they earned it. And it's like if everybody had that, then it would be unreal.
Yeah.
If I wish we were all rich. No, I don't actually.
But can you resist? Because I see a lot of bands when they have a very big career like Sonic Youth have, they sometimes don't resist the urge of making those, I call them best-of tours around the world, selling the old music just to capitalize on it.
Yeah.
Can we absolutely rule that out in Sonic Youth?
Well, we're a brand name, much in the same way that maybe like Dinosaur Jr. is a brand name, or Red Hot Chili Peppers is a brand.
But Jay Mask is still doing it.
Well, Jay can go out with Dinosaur Jr. and do like 400 times more business than as if he's Jay Mascis.
Yeah.
Playing the same music.
Yeah.
Playing the same guitar. So it's a matter of recognition, and I understand that. And in some ways, I don't feel that comfortable trading on the name and doing that nostalgia thing. I know that it would pay the mortgage for a couple
some
of years.
dividends out of the name, yeah.
So that's
kind of-
nice. I have nothing wrong with making a little coin, but I sort of get asked it all the time, and I sort of sometimes respond with like, I'll do it if we do it for free.
Yeah. Take that out of the equation.
Free concerts, take all the money out of the equation.
Yeah.
And,
more fans just looking at you are a staple figure also.
But I get no feedback from that. Everybody's like, no, maybe that's not what we're looking for here.
Let me ask you a question, because you've almost seen it all. You've seen a lot of transformations in popular music. A lot of waves came in and out and changed the panorama. But nowadays, what I see with streaming, for instance, is a different way of connecting to music.
Yeah.
And younger generations, they listen to songs and albums, and sometimes they listen to very different songs. They can go from classical music to heavy metal. What do you think about this way? I find it somewhat liberating because they don't have those.
Yeah, I mean, it is
barriers.
liberating. It's an exploded library, and you can't underestimate the intelligence of anybody who's like into music.
Yeah.
They're going to find it however they want to find it. I think I think they know. I think young people know that there was this culture of looking for physical product in records, and there's a certain je ne sais quoi to
and
that.
even the scarcity of the records back in the day, right?
Yeah,
When you got
exactly.
one was, this is great.
For me, there's a very real tactile aspect to music. I like to be able to touch the record, touch the cassette, touch the CD. Touch the machines.
And even the
But I don't have any issue with streaming or digital. I mean, it's what it is. But I don't do it. I don't have Spotify. It's not on my phone. It's not on my laptop. I never use it.
Yeah.
And I know that people use it all the time. They're like, oh, you have a really good curatorial list that you did on Spotify. I said, no, I didn't. Spotify did that for me.
Yeah, that's
they're
the algorithm.
pretending to
DJ
be me,
algorithm,
and
yeah.
they're using my name, like this is what he would like. So in that way, I kind of actually am more resistant. I'm reactionary to that kind of situation. So but I also feel like I don't really have that much time, minutes of the day, because I'm actually sort of writing music, and I actually write literature, books, and poetry and stuff like that. So to actually go do music searching, I don't find I have that much time. I'd rather sort of invest in some silence, possibly, and listen to nature, and I know it's out there, and I feel like I had my years of really investigating and just knowing everything about every single band in the world, the every single basement noise group to everything. I just feel like I knew it all, but it's it's moved way beyond my knowledge sphere, and I'm okay with that.
It's too much sometimes.
Yeah.
It's very...
Sometimes I see huge venues sold out by some artist's name, and I ask about it to people about it. I say, who is this that's selling 3 nights out at, like, this theater? They're like, oh, they're like an internet sensation.
What's
it's
that?
Just like, I'm like, whoa, that's kind of cool. I mean, it's just like, it's not like they're selling lots of records, but they're selling lots of downloads.
Yeah.
And it's just like, it's a different world.
Dematerialized kind of world, and strange. Yeah. And pretending that, do you mind or worry about the digital relation that you might have with your fans, or not?
Not really. I don't know.
But because that's the way to go, everybody says.
I just like, I like even like a platform like Bandcamp, which is very artist friendly, and you can sell physical product on it or digital product, and I think that's kind of cool. I like how that works.
Yeah.
And so I've engaged with that a bit. But I always think that it doesn't really matter what the paradigm is at any given time through entertainment, music, culture, whatever. People are going to have creative impulse, and they're going to follow it, and they're going to make what they make, even if they make movies on iPhones or whatever. I mean, it doesn't matter.
You just told me you make records on this kind of recorders.
If you have the vision and the wherewithal to create something that appeals to anybody or everybody, go for it. Yeah. And it's just like, people will accept it if they like it. If they don't like it, they'll walk away from it. Lydia Lunch used to always say this thing. It's like, just because you can doesn't mean you should. Because that's her, right? She's so upset that everybody has a band now. It's like, it should just be the visionaries. It's like, well, no, but then if everybody was a visionary, then it would be kind of a little boring.
Yeah.
You need to separate the wheat from the chaff.
Because
you need to go through the weeds, and then there's your jewel.
Gold is only gold because it's scarce.
There you go.
That's the thing. And I hate to do this question, but for you, plans for the future is something that I think it's, I know you have plans for the future, but you're going to tell me that you're going to do everything creative that you set your mind to, right?
I'm still in an apprenticeship.
Oh my God.
No, I mean, I have a whole new album that's recorded. That's really different because it's a lot of piano
solo
playing
album?
on it. It's the group.
Yeah.
It's the last recording session that James Sedgwick, the original guitar player, played on, but he also plays a lot of keyboards on because he's a fantastic keyboard player. And it's recorded, mixed, and ready to be released, but not until next year because I'm releasing this Sonic Youth memoir called Sonic Life in October. So I'm going to be really busy promoting that book and traveling around and doing interviews, and so which is cool. At this point, I just kind of I kind of am very zen about like what's happening.
And that I have to ask, did that book in any way reshape the relation that you have with Sonic Youth, the band, the brand, whatever? It
certainly brought me into a place where I needed to sort of revisit a history that was quite extensive. It's 30 plus years, and I really wanted to write about. I really wanted to get the details right about like chronology and certain data, and even like when I'd had other people read it, they're like, "Oh no, that band was Scottish. They weren't English," which is a big thing in England. Yeah. You call a Scottish band English, they're going to get very upset. I was like, "Of course, you're right," but little things like that, certain dates. But I did a lot of research, and it's not just sort of a day-to-day account of Sonic Youth's life. It's all about the idea of what it was to actually meet like-minded people at a young age in a huge profiled city like New York, downtown, which at the time was a bit of a small world for us. But we all knew each other, and we all saw each other, and we were all sort of living in sort of an impoverished place, and just wanting to sort of continue what we were seeing and hearing at like CBGB or Max's Kansas City or the Kitchen Center and all this, and finding each other. And so the book sort of details how we found each other and how Sonic Youth actually became Sonic Youth and developed. And it moves forward from there, mostly into the 90s, and then it's just like, because then it becomes a bit of a, record tour,
faster.
Yeah, and then I stop when Sonic Youth stops. I sort of wind it up.
And do you see yourself, as many people see you, as an icon, a sonic revolutionary, or you just don't give a damn? Because
I don't really dwell on what people think about
Good
me
for you.
in that respect. I mean, for me, sometimes just even walking up to this beach today to do this interview, like, some doom metal guy coming up to me like, "Yo, dude, you changed my life." I don't expect that, but it's like when it does happen, it's like, oh, that's cool. Yeah, it's really cool for you to say that.
Yeah.
So,
here we are. So.
Yeah, here we are. And I'm just happy to be like here in Portugal, like on the beach. My God. Not everybody gets to do that.
And we're very happy to have you.
Yeah, well, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it.